My brother, my sister, my aunt, and my uncle, we inherited maybe 29 properties from my grandmother who passed away. May her soul rest in peace. Some of the houses need repair. We're at the point now where there's not a whole lot of money. I think I may be the only one who had some education into what to do next, trying to figure out what our next step is.
Well, you got a situation there that you got to step in and you got to come up with a plan. I mean, you're very fortunate. Your grandma left you all these places. It's great. She must have been a real smart lady.
Yeah.
So, number one, you're going to have to, you got cash flow on these properties? Are they rented out? What's the story?
Well, none of them are rented out at all, and all of them need repair.
Oh, my God. 29 of them?
And there's no mortgage on any of them.
Your grandma left you 29 empty houses?
Well, no, there's 9 houses, and there's 20 pieces of property.
Okay, so, and none of them are rented, generating cash flow?
None of them at all. During her latter years, she was real stubborn. You know what I'm saying? She really wouldn't, she wouldn't listen too much. But, as far as repairs, she did a whole lot of patchwork and never just repaired it like it should have been. And so, the houses are kind of in a state where they kind of really need some repair. One of the houses is, at the stake of being was condemned now. And so we received some information that, they're giving us some time to settle as far as the estate is concerned before they be trying to move in and truly condemning the house.
I'd sell it. I mean, if you don't have the money to fix them up and they're not in good shape where a bank's not going to want a loan on them, it sounds like you need to package it all up together or separately or any way you can and try to get the most money you can for selling them. And I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. If you don't have the money to go around and the time and the resources to fix up 29 different properties or 9 houses and get them fixed up and get them rented or sell them, maybe you need to sell them in the condition they're in, and just let the next person go in there, buy them where they can fix them up and try to deal with them.
Maybe try to keep the cream of the crop, though.
Yeah, I mean, if there's some you want to keep, that you think you can fix up, or the ones with the best value or the most equity, that work.
Best neighborhoods, things like that.
Maybe pick out the winners and get rid of the dogs. But, otherwise, if you added them all up, have you sat down and looked at what the realistic price on the value of each parcel is?
Yes, I did that last week, and I think it came up to like $1,750,000 for all the real estate total.
Okay, so let me ask you this: $1,700,000, you said?
Yeah, $1,700,000.
Okay, so now number one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and consult with an accountant. If you take $1,700,000 and your family has to split it up whatever way, isn't that all tax-free? Because you can leave people up to like $5 million, I think, where they don't have to pay tax. So if you need to talk to the lawyer and the accountants and say, listen, if we just dump all this property, cash it in for the $1,700,000, split it up the way your grandma told us to, is it tax-free? That's what you need to do, I think.
I live in Atlanta. I've done some wholesale deals in Atlanta and properties in North Carolina, and she's aware of, my wholesale deals and, kind of where my knowledge was with things. And she looked me in my eyes and she said, I bought this stuff for your children's children. Please don't sell. So that's the tough part.
Well, but the question is, what can you do with the money if you did sell? Could you do really good things for your kids and your family? Or if you're in the wholesale business, you should be able to flip them, to wholesalers and get them quick money. And it all depends on what you're going to do with the money. How many people are going to split that $1,700,000?
Oh, they're going to, if they get money, they'll be broke quick. So,
well, is that the way she set up? Is that the way she set it up where everybody gets paid out or what? Or everybody gets their.
No, well, the tough part about that is she actually didn't even have a will.
I know she wants those properties. You can't be sentimental when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see anything. If you don't have the money to fix them up, what are you going to do? Maybe you could take some of them, and I mean, if you got to fix up some of them to be able to pull money out of them with a bank. Are any of them in rentable condition? No. I mean, if you can't rent them, you can't get in there and rent some of them. You can't rent the 9 houses out. Take too much money to fix them up.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. I mean, for me, I feel like I can come up with some money to do it, but there's so many other parties in place.
How many parties altogether? How many people altogether are after that money?
there was my mother, my aunt, and my uncle. My mother passed away, so my mother's third goes to me, my brother, and my sister. So technically, there's what's that? 5 people total. My uncle doesn't need anything. He's well off. My
you know
aunt
what I would
is really
try to do?
neat.
I'd try to do this if I was you, because you're the smart one. I try to tell everybody, listen, let's all stick together. Let's sell these properties off, and then you go out and try to reinvest that money to make everybody more money. I mean, put together some sort of partnership with them.
Oh, and maybe the uncle, he said the uncle's pretty well off. Maybe we can come up with some capital.
Hey, the uncle, I want to loan you no money to fix him up?
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Nah, I think my uncle's going to just duck out of all of this.
Yeah, I don't blame him. But, I mean, listen, your grandmother, I'm sure, only wanted everybody to be happy. So, it doesn't sound like you have any choice but to sell them. What are you going to do? Sit around and keep paying taxes and
vacant
insurance or whatever on properties that aren't generating any income? I mean, they have no cash flow. They're not even bringing in any kind of money to pay their bills or taxes or insurance or nothing?
Nothing.
Yeah, you got to dump.
Nothing.
I'm sorry. If you ain't got the money to fix them up, you need to get. You're in the wholesale business. You know what you can dump those properties for. You need to get those properties sold and maybe try to convince everybody to keep that money pooled together so you all can grow together. That's what I would try to do. But you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. What are you going to do? All these properties are not bringing in no money. They're costing you money. And then what are you going to do when you got to come out of the pocket to keep the properties? It makes no sense. It's a different day and time. And, don't worry, Grandma ain't going to come back and get you. You're a wholesaler. You better wholesale those suckers and get your hands on the cash. Convince everybody, all parties involved, listen, we're going to take all the money that we are selling for, and we're going to build our own real estate investment,
team
partnership. And you're going to go out and you're going to find more bad deals to buy that are cheap and flip them and wholesale them. Imagine what you could do with that $1.7 million if you were out there as a wholesaler, buying stuff for quick cash money, getting discounts, and then flipping them for a profit,
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome.
You don't have to just flip the contract. You can buy the real estate yourself, cut out the middleman, and then flip the contract, not flip the contract, flip the property.
I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
All right, go sell those properties. Make that money. Thinking about doing a real estate deal? Get me on the phone. I have over 30 years experience and have bought and sold over $1 billion worth of real estate. You can get me on the phone. You can have a private meeting. And we can even do lunch, baby. Go to benmal.com/shop and book a consult today.